The 1994 World Cup held in the United States was a monumental moment in Brazilian sports history and one of the most thrilling chapters in world soccer. For Brazil, it had been 24 long years since the golden days of the 1970 World Cup in Mexico. Those memories, led by legends like Pelé, were cherished, but as the years passed, that success felt increasingly distant. Hopes had been built up in each tournament since then, only to fall short. The passion, loyalty, and anticipation of Brazilian fans grew with each competition, and by 1994, the longing for a World Cup victory had become an undeniable hunger. The entire nation yearned to reclaim Brazil's place at the top of world soccer and, most importantly, to break the 24-year drought that had only intensified the national pride, spirit, and hope. The Brazilian squad of 1994 wasn't a team stacked with numerous international stars or superstar players known around the world. Instead, they represented a collective spirit, resilience, and unity that set them apart. This team had character, it had drive, and most importantly, it had purpose. Led by coach Carlos Alberto Pereira, Brazil's 1994 team prioritized discipline, strategy, and a relentless focus on the mission at hand. Pereira's approach was different from the flamboyant, free-flowing soccer that Brazil was famous for, but it proved highly effective. The team wasn't just playing for a title. They were playing to bring honor back to Brazilian soccer, to fulfill the dreams of millions who had waited decades, and to prove to the world that Brazilian soccer still held the magic, strength, and willpower to achieve greatness. At the heart of this squad was Romário, known for his confidence and a technical skill that few could match. Romário played every match as though it were personal, his eyes locked on the goal with an unshakable determination. His style was fearless, his pace quick, and his footwork a mesmerizing display that brought out the collective joy and excitement of Brazilian fans. With Romário, fans saw someone who represented hope and possibility. His presence reassured them that Brazil was still a force to be reckoned with. His quick, decisive moves and his innate sense of the game made him a dangerous and thrilling forward, one who could change the game in an instant. Right beside Romário was Bebeto, who formed an unforgettable partnership with him. Bebeto's role was distinct. While Romário brought flair, Bebeto added precision and a cool-headedness that created the perfect balance. Together, they were a team within a team, anticipating each other's moves, sharing the weight of a nation's expectations, and forming a striking partnership that the world could not ignore. Bebeto was not just a player, he embodied the disciplined spirit of the squad. His legendary rocking babied celebration after his goal against the Netherlands in the quarterfinals became an iconic symbol, representing the joy, unity, and national pride of Brazil. It was as if, in that moment, Bebeto was celebrating for every Brazilian, reminding them of family, love, and the resilience that had brought Brazil this far. The journey through the tournament was anything but easy. Brazil's path to the title was marked by challenges that tested the team's mental and physical endurance. The summer heat of the United States, coupled with intense competition, meant each match demanded more and more from the players. They faced Sweden twice, both times in demanding matches, and fought through tough, grinding games that showcased their commitment and strength. With every victory, Brazilian fans felt their hopes grow stronger, and by the time Brazil reached the final, the entire nation held its breath, praying for the chance to see the team lift the trophy once again. The final was a battle of the giants, a classic showdown between Brazil and Italy, two of the most successful teams in soccer history. It was a nerve-wracking match from the very beginning, as both sides played carefully, aware of what was at stake. The minutes ticked by with no goals, and with each passing moment, the tension only grew. Every Brazilian fan, whether at home or in the stands, was on edge, silently praying and hoping that their team would find a way through. When the match ended in a 0-0 draw after 120 minutes, it came down to penalties, a test of nerves, precision, and faith. In those final moments, Brazil's players knew they held the dreams of an entire country on their shoulders. Each penalty kick was like the ticking of a clock, each shot carrying the weight of millions. And finally, as Italy's Roberto Baggio sent his penalty kick soaring over the crossbar, there was a brief, silent pause before an eruption of Brazilian joy that could be felt around the world. The long wait was over. Brazil was once again crowned world champion. The streets back home exploded with joy, celebrations erupted across the nation, and a collective sigh of relief was followed by a joyful roar from every corner of Brazil. For many Brazilians, this victory was deeply emotional. The 1994 team became more than a soccer team. They became a symbol of hope, resilience, and Brazilian pride. They brought a nation to its feet, reminding everyone of the power of unity, hard work, and belief in one another. The trophy symbolized not just a win, but a reclaiming of Brazil's place in the world of soccer, a renewal of the country's identity as the land of champions. The victory parade, filled with tears, laughter, and songs, was a powerful moment of unity, one that showed the world just how much soccer means to Brazil. This wasn't just a win, it was a celebration of Brazilian heart and spirit. The 1994 team's legacy endures to this day, a reminder that sometimes, victory is not just about having the best players. It's about the strength of character, the power of a collective dream, and the willingness to fight for something greater. This team will forever be remembered not only for their triumph on the field, but for the passion and pride they restored to Brazilian soccer.
É gol! É gol! 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 Go! 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 Go!